This week, for Beacon Web News, Sarah Troy and I get a sneak preview of the first open house of the fall semester and 4th annual Day of Dialogue, and Sarah Tomczyk gives us a behind-the-scenes look of Berkshier Stem Week. That's all coming up next on Beacon Web News. Welcome to the October 27th episode of Beacon Web News. I'm May Craig. MCLA will continue to distribute $1 million in federal higher education emergency relief funds as part of the American Rescue Plan. During the 2020 and 2021 academic year, MCLA distributed about $209,000 in Mass Grant Plus funding, and for this year, $689,000 has been allocated, but still has not been distributed. Last Thursday, on October 22nd, North Adams mayoral candidates Lynette Bond and Jennifer Maxey went head-to-head answering questions from the community. The two candidates spoke about diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, housing issues within the city, and the current administration. The MCLA Political Science Club hosted the event, with iBerkshire's.com sponsoring the event. The first urgent care center in North Adams plans on opening the November 1st Southwestern Vermont Healthcare and Clear Choice MD teamed up to operate the new urgent care center, named SVCHC Urgent Care, powered by Clear Choice MD. The facility is located at 856 State Road, North Adams. Lenox resident Ashley Stump and her retired horse, Golden Giant, competed in the Thoroughbred Makeover competition in Lexington, Kentucky. The pair ranked 6th place in the Amateur Hunter division and 7th place amateur in the Jumper division out of 50 competitors. The Thoroughbred Makeover competition ran from October 12th to October 17th. On Wednesday, October 20th, MCLA held its 4th annual Day of Dialogue remotely, just like last year. Sarah Troy and I interviewed organizers Christopher McDonald-Dennis and Erica Barretto about the inspiration behind this year's event, which focused on disability. The Day of Dialogue is a campus-wide day of workshops and discussions about issues concerning diversity, equity, and inclusion. This year's theme, no longer an afterthought toward disability awareness, inclusion, and justice on campus and in society, focused on the different ways we approach, think, define, and talk about disability.
When we talk about diversity, people don't really think of disability. It's often an afterthought. People are like, oh, is it really? And since I've been here almost now 4 years, I think we've now started to think more about issues of disability on campus.
I think it was really important to talk about this because there's so many different types of intersectionality.
The Day of Dialogue really is a day that is about raising people's awareness, starting to have conversations that we've never had before. So we just thought that was really a perfect place to do that, and I think it was really successful. One of the things that I have found when I got here is that our awareness around disability has increased. When I came here, I was surprised at how little people talked about disability. I know that I saw a lot of students identifying in the sessions, which I think was really helpful too. We also want an opportunity for faculty to be able to see the things that students use as accommodations. You know, one of the sessions, it was like an assistive technology fair so that they got to see different things, because I think that the truth is that for a lot of faculty, many of them never had learning difference. That's why they did so well in school.
The president, Christopher McDonald-Dennis, myself, and Lisa Donovan are participating in an inclusive leadership cohort with Bridge. It's a peer accountability network with executive leaders and board members from across I actually don't know how many organizations, but there's a bunch. And so they're providing us with resources, and LaDerek Horn was one of them. So I was really astounded by his performance, so I had recommended him as a keynote lecturer for the Day of Dialogue, and I think it worked out.
I think that LaDerek Horn, who was our keynote speaker, was wonderful.
He's one of the most sought out speakers in the country on the topic of disability.
We need to be honest, like with just all people, and just say, you know what, there are stigmas in society.
People with disabilities are historically excluded from institutions of culture, so how can they protect that freedom and create these, again, like these vibrant and inclusive communities through the arts?
The Latin American Society will be showing the movie Coco as part of their Halloween movie night in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. The event will take place in Sullivan Lounge from 7 to 9 p.m. Conchas and hot chocolate will be provided to those who attend. The MCLA Institute for the Art and Humanities and the First 8 Weeks program will be hosting ghost tours at the Mount on Friday, October 29th from 4 to 8 p.m. Transportation will be provided for students to and from Lenox with buses picking up students behind the Friel Library at 4 p.m. Admissions is free for MCLA and the event will be capped at 50 students. You can RSVP at short URL at IMQV. Live theater returns to MCLA in November. The season will open with the play Falling in Loving by Charles Mee and directed by Laura Stanley. The play will run from Friday, November 5th to Sunday, November 14th in Venable Theater at 8 to 10 p.m. Last week, MCLA and Berkshier Stem Network came together to offer virtual programming to local public school students, K-12 educators, and the Berkshire community. Sarah Tomczyk has more on the story.
Fourth year of the Berkshire STEM Week occurred through Monday, October 18th to Friday, October 22nd. The overall theme for this year's STEM Week was See Yourself in STEM. This theme encourages viewers to imagine themselves in a field involving science, technology, engineering, and math. Even though the majority of STEM Week was either virtual or pre-recorded, each day would have a different theme regarding the involvement of STEM. Within each day, there would be many programs to accommodate that day's theme. For example, Monday's theme was food, farming, and sustainability. A program that was featured was Fall Allowing at the Hopkins Memorial Forest, hosted by Williams College. Because the majority of programs were either virtual or pre-recorded, Josh Mendel, Director of Corporate Engagement and Strategic Partnerships at MCLA, explains to Beacon News reporter Abby Abrahamson where STEM Week took place.
So Pittsfield Cable Television is an outstanding partner. They not only house the video and run it on their TV station, but they also put it on the web as well.
Speaking of partners, MCLA faculty and staff and community partners were the ones who primarily planned STEM Week. These partners included Berkshire Community College, Williams College, the Braham Center, the Berkshire Museum, Flying Cloud Institution, General Dynamics, the Berkshire County School Districts, and more. Part of a larger mass STEM Week program, one that is part of Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito's plans to grow STEM education in Massachusetts. There are 8 other STEM network regions across Massachusetts that participate in the annual STEM Week. The overall purpose of STEM Week is to encourage all ages to get involved with any career in STEM, as Josh Mandel explains.
We're not just looking at just the college population. We're looking at the middle, elementary, and high school populations. We're looking at the displaced workers, people who may not, be employed right now, or people who want to upscale their jobs opportunities. So we're trying to make it diverse to the entire community as well.
If you may be interested in a career involving STEM or missed out on STEM Week, be sure to check out all the programs on watch.pittsfieldtv.net. And with that, from Beacon Web News, this is Sarah Tomczyk.
Biodiversity for a Livable Climate will be presenting the film Open Sesame, The Story of Seeds. The event will take place Friday, November 5th at 7 p.m. in the FCSI atrium. If you are interested in learning more about the event, you can contact Abby Abramson at aa0495@mcla.edu. Black Student Union presents The Escape Room as part of their Halloween event on Friday, October 29th at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. in Bowman 217. The first group of 5 to have the fastest time wins a $20 limit for each Black-owned business. Wall Street Journal senior editor Bob Davis is this year's Hardman Journalist in Residence. As part of his residency, he will offer a community lecture at 6 p.m. on Monday, November 1st in the first floor atrium of the MCLA Feigenbaum Center for Science and Innovation. The event is free and open to the public. To register for the in-person event or virtual lecture, you can visit short URL at EEFNU. On Saturday, October 23rd, MCLA had their first in-person open house of the fall semester. Sarah Troy and I interviewed Director of Admissions, Kayla Hollins, about the open house and the future enrollment status of the school. After a year of being online due to the coronavirus pandemic, potential enrollees for MCLA were welcomed back to campus for the first in-person open house of the year.
Prospective students and their families to come visit It's a little bit more engaging than a daily tour. A daily tour is they come for an information session, which is usually a half an hour, and then they go on a full hour campus tour with our student ambassador staff. An open house gives them a little bit more of an in-depth look at campus.
The event consisted of campus tours, meetings with professors, and club roundtables.
Families sit in on a panel with campus leadership, so it's a little bit more in-depth than just a regular campus tour. So we were excited to bring students back to campus. We know that prospective students really get engaged with us once they come visit.
The admissions office will also be hosting virtual events such as virtual athletic previews, a virtual info session, and virtual tours of the campus. According to Hollins, first-year student enrollment has been consistent, and the admissions office won't know their enrollment status until May of next year.
We were very eager to get back to in-person events, but we are still hosting virtual stuff as well.
There will also be 2 open houses this semester, and the next open house will take place on Saturday, November 13th. For Beacon Web News, I'm May Craig. MCLA is now serving its own signature pickle in the deli station in Centennial Room. The MCLA pickle has chosen after a taste test and vote among 2 other alternatives, all of which Aramark Dining executive chef Tony Fiorentino created. Beacon political correspondent Natalia Giacomosi interviews Associate Professor of History and Political Science Samantha Petty about the importance of local elections and how students should pay more attention for elections to come. As MCLA fall season baseball winds down, Mike O'Brien interviews senior captain of the baseball team Austin Riccelli about what he's most looking forward to for the spring and how the baseball team has looked throughout the fall season. That's it for this week. To stay up to date for BWN, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/MCLABWN. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.